welcome to Advent of Refactoring, day 22. So we have our separate handlers here for the different types of events that come in. Handle cancellations, handle website vouchers, handle staff vouchers. We've got a lookup table that separates, that does the lookups between them, and a single processing function that just processes them. At the moment these are all basic functions and they're all fairly clean. Because we're now using this lookup table and they're all being handled exactly the same way, we can now combine some of the previous refactorings we've done to then separate some of the logic out and make it a bit more understandable and clean. What we're going to do is create a new base handler class that all of them can derive from. So class handler. In this handler class, it's going to be passed in some data. So we can say def init self data, and then we're going to say self.data equals data. Then we're going to have a def run function, which will just run the handle function inside there. So self.handle. There we go. So for each of these classes, all we need to do is set up a handle version of this thing. And just to make it a bit less work for us right now, we'll just pass in the self.data into there. There we go. Self.handle doesn't exist yet, but we'll create it. So we can now do this. So class cancellation handler. That's going to be one of these handler types. And then we say def handle self data. Move all that stuff inside there. Then we can do the same thing with this as well, this next one. This one's going to be a website ticket handler. So this one will be website voucher handler. And then this one is going to be a staff voucher handler. These ones will have to change to be the new versions as well. So this will be a cancellation handler. This one will be the website voucher handler. This one will be the staff voucher handler. The lookup table will now return the correct class. So here we get the class, the handler class, and then we pass it in the data, which will go into the init method, and then it's this run thing that actually runs the thing. .run. There you go. So we've now converted them all into these classes, and that was pretty painless. The advantage is now we can separate some of the other pieces of this. First of all, let's right-click on this, rename that to handler class, just so it's just the class. Then we could say handler, the actual handler, equals handler class data, sorry, and then return the handler.run. We could also then do here handler.validate. And then we can separate the validation function into all of these things. Let's set up an initial one that does nothing. Validate self return. This does nothing. This one here, is there any validation we need to do? We should maybe check that the data contains the references. Let's do that. Def validate, and we should check that if references not in data, raise validation error. We'll create our own custom little validation errors here as well to work with. So class validation error exception. We'll just save that and that should work fine. So then this one needs to check that data contains code, and then also to check to see whether the thing exists. So let's separate that out. Def validate. don't need the super validate. We'll grab that, put it in here. If not, raise validation error, missing voucher. And before that, we can then say if code not in data, raise validation error, missing code in data. This then we can move in one level. This one here needs to have the same type of thing with checking the code, then checking the staff voucher exists. So let's copy this function here, move it into here. And this needs to be staff voucher instead, so just change this to staff voucher. There we go. And then that means we can simplify this method a bit as well. So get rid of that, get rid of these ones, dedent them a bit. There we go. So we can now do our validation stuff here. If we want to, we can catch that, put stuff around it. It's in a separate piece from the run, which is convenient. Other things we could then do as well, if we want to, we could have the success message defined separately too. So we could have run, runs that, and then return self.success message. Then the default success message equals done. And here we can get rid of this return, because we know that the top level one, when it runs, it will return this message. But we want this successfully cancelled to be the success message, so we'll just say success message equals successfully cancelled. There we go. And this one, that's the success message there. This one has this success message. By using this system of having like a single class entry point and then going through them all like this, it means we can make the logic for the different pieces a bit cleaner and hopefully make it a bit more distinct and make new cases a little bit easier too. Hope you found that interesting, and see you tomorrow.